Hello everyone. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about the topic architecture or structure of the database management systems. First, we'll discuss about the types of users who will be using the database. So, first category is naive users. They are the unsophisticated users who don't have any knowledge about the DBMS, but they frequently use the database applications in their daily life to get the desired results. For example, railways ticket booking users are called as naive users because they won't be having any knowledge about the railway database, but they will be using the database for ticket booking. Next category is application programmers. They are the back-end programmers who writes the code for application programs. These programs could be written in any programming languages like C, C++, Java, etc. And next we have sophisticated users. They can be engineers, scientists, business analysts who are familiar with the database. But they don't write the program code, but they interact with the database by writing the SQL queries directly through the query processor. Next, last category of user is database administrator. He plays the central role in the database management system. DBA is a person or team who defines the schema. Schema means structure of the database and also controls the three levels of the database, which are query processor, storage manager and disk storage. DBA is also responsible for providing security to the database, and he allows only the authorized users to access or modify the database. He is also responsible for the problems such as security breaches and poor system response time. DBA also monitors the recovery and backup and provides technical support. He has an account in the DBMS which is called a system or super user account. DBA repairs the damage caused due to the hardware or software failures, and he is having the privilege to perform DCL, that is data control language operations such as grant and revoke, to allow or restrict a particular user from accessing the database. Now let us see the three levels in the structure of the DBMS. First level is query processor. It interprets the requests or queries received from the end user through an application program into instructions. It also executes the user request which is received from the DML compiler. Query processor contains the following components. So first one is DML compiler. It processes the DML statements into low-level instruction, that is machine language, so that they can be executed by the query evaluation engine. DDL interpreter, it is used to process the DDL statements into a set of table containing metadata. Metadata means data about data. So here DDL deals with the definition or structure of the database. DML deals with the actual data. And embedded DML precompiler, it processes the DML statements embedded in an application program into procedural calls. Query evaluation engine is used for executing the instructions generated by the DML compiler. Next, we have storage manager in the second level. Storage manager is a program that provides an interface between the data stored in the database and the queries received. It maintains the consistency and integrity of the database by applying the constraints and also executing the DCL statements. It is responsible for updating, storing, deleting and retrieving the data in the database. It contains the following components. So first component is authorization manager. It ensures role-based access control. That is, it checks whether the particular person is privileged to perform the requested operation or not. Next, we have integrity manager. It checks the integrity constraints when the database is being modified. Transaction manager controls the concurrent access by performing the operations in a scheduled way that it receives the transaction. Thus, it ensures that the database remains in a consistent state before and after the execution of a transaction. File manager manages the file space and the data structure used to represent the information in the database. And finally, buffer manager is responsible for cache memory and the transfer of data between the secondary storage and main memory. Next, in the third level, we have disk storage. So it contains the following components. Data files, it is used to store the data. Data dictionary contains the information about the structure of any database objects. It is the repository of information that governs the metadata, and indices provides the fast retrieval of the data item. Now let us see the graphical format of the structure of DBMS. So here at the top we have users, that is naive users, application programmers, sophisticated users, and database administrator. Naive users send their information to application interfaces, and they will be using only the object code. So they are not writing any programs. Application programmers write the application programs, and it is compiled and linked, and it is converted to object code. If any queries are embedded in the application program, then it is given to the DML queries, that is compiled by the DML compiler and organizer. So sophisticated users use query tools and write DML queries to communicate with the database. Database administrator uses administrative tools, and it has access to DML queries and DDL interpreter. DDL interpreter is used to interpret the DDL commands. And the query evaluation engine is the engine which executes all the set of queries and code and sends it to the storage manager. In storage manager we have buffer manager and file manager. So buffer manager and file manager is having connectivity to the data and indices because they are related to storage. And authorization and integrity manager is used to check the integrity constraints and authorization. So it is having the connectivity to the data dictionary. It records all the information about the database, including the integrity constraints and authorization control. And statistical data is, it is used to collect the statistics of the data. And transaction manager is used to ensure the concurrency control. So thus we have seen the structure of the database in this lecture. Thank you.